Okay, so we were talking about insertion in aviary trees, right? And yesterday we talked about the process, and if we encounter a balance factor of, say, in this case, -2, then we have to do something interesting so that we restore the balance. Okay, and what was that? I said, okay, we can do something called a rotation. I do a rotation, it looks like a rotation. Yes, so you are rotating it, and after rotation what happens, v comes here and u becomes a child. LL tree of v retains with itself, and you have r and lr. Now what is this rotation, and am I even allowed to do that? I mean, does that preserve the normal binary search tree properties at least? Yes. So let's talk about the rotation, and then we'll come back to this, like what actually we did with ah, insertion. So, so in general, what do we do in rotation? So suppose I have a node y, so that is the main node in the subtree, and then it has a left child x and a right subtree gamma, and x has two subtrees, left and right, alpha and beta, and either of these can be empty. So alpha, beta, or gamma, either of these can be empty. Now when I do rotation with respect to the root, okay, of the particular subtree I am considering. So I can talk about doing a right rotation of this. Okay, say right rotation. So I'll say right rotate. And suppose t is the tree under consideration with respect to y. So what happens now? So x becomes the root of the subtree, y becomes its right child, y retains its right child gamma, and x retains its left child alpha, and y gets one of the subtree of x, so beta. And this is called a right rotation. Analogously, you can also think of left rotation. In this tree, you can do a left rotation. So left rotation with respect to the root x. So, and actually what you get is the first tree back. So this is your left rotate. Fine. Now, okay, so now first of all, does that even preserve the BST properties? So let's see. So let's see the order of the keys. Okay. So how do I put the keys in this tree in a sorted order? I can do it in order traversal. In order traversal, what is that? Left, root, and right. Okay. Left, again left, root, right. So I can put the in order traversal alpha dot key. That means all the keys of nodes in alpha, they will be less than x dot key. This will be less than beta dot key. Okay, and that will be less than y dot key, and this will be less than gamma dot key. Right, that is the in order traversal, and this will be the sorted order. So this is the particular ordering that BST is maintaining. Now suppose I do a rotation. So from this, can I retrieve that? Again, you do an in order sorting, in order traversal. So you will get alpha dot key less than x dot key. Yes, and then the right. So you go again left, you go left, root, right. So that is beta dot key less than y dot key less than gamma dot key. And you see that uh, these two are same. Okay, so that means it is preserving the BST property. It is retaining the order in which the sub the subtree is Yeah, stored. So that seems fine. And what is happening? I am just using this particular. I'm just using this particular uh, link to connect that. So that means if I have to do rotation, how many operations I have to do? Actually, you see, you will have to change certain pointers. You have to change some pointers, and you can even very easily define. So, for example, the parent of y. So, if you see the parent of y, so you will have to get that node, see whether y is left or right child of that, and then make x the corresponding child. Okay, now get the right pointer of x dot right, and put that to y dot left. Fine. And yeah, you will have to change some parent pointers. For example, y's parent will become x. Yes, and beta's parent will now become y. So like that. So you have to do only a constant number of pointer operations. Number of pointer assignments. No new data is being added. It's only some pointers are getting changed. And this is constant. This does not depend on how large your tree is or how large your individual subtrees are. So this is a constant. So that means, so these rotations you can do in order one time. So constant number of operations you have to do. So that is good. So we wanted to do some things efficiently. So that means doing a rotation does not incur, I mean, does not incur very much cost. It is only order one. So now we go back to our uh, algorithm. So what we were saying, so you are at this position and you do a rotation. So so from here you're doing a rotation. So we can define or denote rotation. So you're doing a right rotation. So right rotation of u. So if you do a right rotation of u, what will happen? V should come on top. Yes. So V comes on top. U becomes its right child. U retains its right subtree. And LR, the V's right child, goes to U's left child. Okay. V's right child goes to U's left child. V retains its left child. So this is simply a right rotation of U. Okay, and that's how you get it. So that means in order one time, after you incorporate, after you found out that there was a balance problem at this node, you did a rotation. And now what happened with the balance? We already saw that the balance is restored. So you actually have both u and v completely balanced, and you don't have to go up. You don't have to go up because it has gone from -1 or +1 to 0. So you don't have to go up. Okay. So yeah. So you stop here. Let's check again the height of the subtree. So this was before insertion. It was 1, 2, h plus 2, and now it is 1, 2, and h. So again h plus 2. So height remains the same as the one with before insertion. That means you don't have to go. You don't have to go up. So you can stop here. So good. So the case one is sorted. That is, you do insertion in. So case one, when u and v have the same sign, after insertion. Yes, u and v have the same sign. And when did that happen? So that happens when u and v have the same sign. That happens when you are doing this insertion in the left subtree. Okay, so this height increased by 1, h plus 1, other one remained h. So, okay, so this is what we said was case one. Now, what will be analogously case two? Case two would be when u and v will have different signs after insertion. So that means v will be plus one and u will become minus two. So let's try that case. So let's try case two. So that is balance factors of u and v have opposite signs. Okay, so let me draw the tree again for before what happens. So you have u was minus 1, it had a left child v, and it had r, r was of height h, and we had two child ll and lr. Now, and both had the height h. Okay, and this was balanced. So now what you do, you actually insert in LR. So you do an insertion in LR. Okay. So actually what turns out in this case, you will have to actually look at where in LR do you do insertion. Again, LR will have a left and right subtree. So where exactly you do insertion. So uh, for that, let's make its corresponding. Let's expand this particular node, this subtree. So you will say u v r is of height h, and the left subtree is like this ll, but at the right you find a node w, and let's say in the left of this there is a change. So this becomes LRL. So LRL, its height now becomes h. See, earlier it would have been h minus 1, h minus 1. And LRR is of height h minus 1. Okay. And now let's put the balance factor. So W will be left tilted. And V, so h and h plus 1. So it will be right tilted. And U will be minus 2. Okay. Now this is the situation after insertion. Okay. And what we are seeing, the signs of u and v are opposite. U is minus 2, v is plus 1. Now what do we do in that case? So in that case, actually a single rotation will not work. The single rotation will not work. So what has to be done? So you have to restore height at various uh, places, restore balance. So you will do a, so actually what works here, you first do a left rotation of v. Okay. And so what happens now, W comes on top, follow that with a right rotation of U. Okay. So this is what we do. The left rotation of V and a right rotation of U. So let's see what happens with the left rotation of V. So just by this left rotation of V, so you will get W here, then V gets its LL, and V also gets the LRL, and W retains its LRR. Now U remains the same, it retains its R. Okay, and now I'm not putting the heights because we are doing a further rotation. We are putting a right rotation of this, and then what will happen? So you will, so yeah, let me just try and modify the same picture. So what would happen? So you will go, so W will become at the top, and you will go to the, you will become the right child of W. Okay, so you will come here. So I will try to modify this. So U with R, and W had its LRR. So U becomes its right child, and LRR goes to the left subtree of U, and R goes to the right subtree of U. Sure, so that is what we get after a double rotation. Okay, now let's try to put the balances back. So this was H, LRR was H minus 1, LL was H, and LRL was H. So that means V is done, V has a balance factor of 0. For U, you have, it's right tilted, so you had a balance factor of now +1. Now what about W? And you see in the left subtree, the height is, there is H1, H plus 1. In the right part is H plus 1. So V is completely, W is completely balanced. And because W is completely balanced, that gives us a hope that possibly we will not have to go up. Yes, we will not have to go up. And let's verify that. So what was the height of the subtree rooted at U? So it was H plus 1. Yes, H plus 1 of this subtree, and overall at U it was H plus 2. So now at this 1 plus 1 plus H. So the height remains the same. So it has the same height as before insertion. So that means you can stop here. So that looks good. So that what you're saying. So when you do insertion in ABL trees, you proceed like you do in BST. So you insert a new node. Now after you have inserted a new node, you will have to go up. So traverse up to the root following this path from this new leaf. So we know in the case of binary trees, there is single path, a unique path. So we traverse this path, and while you're traversing this path, you uh, update the balances, update the balance factors. Okay, so in this process at some point, so either you will find, okay, so either you are you are done and don't have to go up, so it's 1 to 0, or you find a node at which balance factor is plus minus 2. Okay, and these were the, and then what we found in this case, there can be two cases, case 1 or case 2, and we found both the cases. In both the cases you can do it here, one rotation and two rotations, and as soon as you do this one rotation or two rotations, and this restore the balance, you restore the balance and don't even have to go up, and don't have to go up. So then what is the complexity? What is the complexity of insertion in ABL trees? So you do proceed like in BST. So this will be order H, that is order log n. And then you go up, traverse up to the root. This is order H. Yes, you are doing that. And in each traversal, when you're doing up, what do? You do some constant things. You update the balance factors. Yes, constant things. Or you have to do a rotation. So there is only either one rotation or two rotations. And if you do a rotation, you don't go up. So that means what is the complexity? It will be again order H plus order 1. Yes, and that will be same as order H. And in this case, order H is same as order log. So yes, so that means the use of rotations helps us in doing insertion in ABL trees in order log n time. Okay, now yeah. So there is one assumption that we made in this case too. So what we did, we said, okay, so you have to do an insertion in the LR. You have to do an insertion in LR, and we can do either in the left or right. So here we did an insertion in the left or right. What happens if you do in the right? If you do in the right, okay, what will happen? You can see at the end. So LRL will come here, LRR will come here. So in this case, LRL will become H minus 1, LRR will become H. So it does not matter too much. What will happen? We will have a minus 1 sign and you will have a 0 sign. But W will have the same sign. So that means, so just a footnote for instance. So even if insertion in LRR, W still has a 0 balance. Okay, so that looks nice. That looks nice. So we took care of all the cases, and we are saying that it is only order H complexity, order log n complexity. So same way the deletion proceeds. So deletion in ABL actually proceeds in a similar manner, so that you do follow binary search, follow deletion in binary search trees. But after you do that, you have to again restore the balance, and then you have to restore the balance, and there you may have to do the rotations. And actually it turns out in deletion in ABL trees, you may have to, it's a single or double rotation may not be sufficient. You may have to, in the worst case, you may have to do rotation at every node on the path, in the worst case. But we are prepared for that because that is again order n times some constant operations. I'm sorry, it's not order n, it's order log n times the order height, order log n times some constant operations. And this becomes order log n. Okay, so deletion is anyway more complicated than the insertion as we saw in the BST case. So I will suggest you try out and see cases. So find the cases for deletion. And where I have to do a single rotation or double rotation. Okay, so this you try, but this order log n. So yeah, so that is about ABL trees. So ABL trees, we have seen that we can do search, insert, delete. You just take my word, but you try on your own. So there, all these are order log n operations. So If I can ensure that, then that means what? That means all my, so now my binary search tree can do search, insert, and delete in order, log, and time. Yes, that is very interesting. Now, 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 some of you may ask, like, okay, now, what is better? I have a sorted array and do binary search versus I create a AVL tree and do a search in AVL tree. Which one is better? You see the uh, thing about that is that it will take the same complexity. So once you have a sorted array, it takes order, log, and time. If you have AVL tree, it takes order, log, and time. But the problem comes because in your data structure, you have to account for the fact that you're storing certain things. You're storing some keys. Yes. And whenever you're storing some keys, think of an application like you're storing the roll numbers, say roll numbers or marks or something. That can be the roll numbers. Yeah. Now, when you're storing some keys, you see these will keep on getting added and deleted. So you will have to do insert and delete. Now, every time you cannot create a new array. So you have to account for doing insert and delete inside the array. So suppose you are doing an array, a sorted array, versus an AVL tree. So search is O log n in both. That is fine. But what about insert? What about insert? So if I insert an element in sorted array, what will I have to do? I have to insert that element and shift all other elements. Yes, shift other elements. So it will be order n. But AVL tree, now I can do that in order, log, and time. What happens with delete? Now delete is something you can argue that in sorted array I won't shift, I just remove that particular value. Yes, I can just do in order one. Remove that from the array. Replace by some flag saying that it does not exist. And don't shift. In AVL tree you have order logging, right? So, but in the worst case, if there are too many insertions, then you see sorted array has a problem, but AVL tree does not. Everything is order logging. Okay, so this is where the AVL trees come into play, and they look like a very good data structure for storing the keys, where you have to do constant insertions, deletions, and search operations. Now there are many, for example, many applications. For example, can you do a sorting based on AVL? Sorting based on AVL keys. So that is formally defined. So you have n integer values and you want to sort them in increasing order. So can you use AVL tree in some way for sorting? So yeah, as soon as you hear the term sorting and trees, I mean any BST, so what comes to your mind? Sorting and BST. Yes, the in order traversal. And how much time in order traversal takes? It takes order and time. So if n nodes are there, I'll take order and time to traverse them, and that will be the sorted order. So the only crux, I mean the only uh, complexity lies in creating an AVL tree. For n integers. And how much time that will take in the worst case? So in the worst case, that will be, so you are doing n insertions. So n insertions will be n log n. N log n for creating that AVL tree and order n for in order traversal. So that means you can use AVL trees to do sorting of n integers in order n log n time. And this particular thing is called AVL sort. So now you have another sorting algorithm that works in order n log n. So okay, so I think yeah, so we covered a lot in this week. We talked about starting from binary trees, then we went to binary search trees, but we found there was a problem with all the operations, they were order H. So is this something we can do a height balanced binary search tree? Balanced binary search tree. And that's what we saw in AVL tree. AVL tree, able to uh, we were able to balance the height or login, and that helped a lot. Now we can even define something called an AVL sort. Okay, so now if somebody just asks you, okay, binary search tree, can they be used for sorting? Yes, they can be used for sorting, but you will have to use some height balanced binary search tree. Now AVL tree is just one family. There are other, as I said, there are black trees and all. There are other types of balanced binary search trees. So you can read about these. We will see if we can give some problems on that. Mm. And also one very important operation we saw was rotation. And you can actually have a lot of use cases of rotation, and we will try to see some of those use cases in the exercise. Okay, thank you.